Hey, Bloomies. It's your girl, Chris with a K, and you're listening or watching the Blooming Lately podcast. It's a podcast for late bloomers from a late bloomer because we're not late. We're just blooming on our own time. So let's get right into the show with how have I been blooming lately? For me, it's been receiving so many words of encouragement and just a lot of like warm and fuzzy messages about the podcast and how you guys have been enjoying the episode. Um, words of affirmation is my zhuzh. It fills up my love cup. So I appreciate that. So all of that just helps me, just feel like I'm on the right path. That, little by little, I'm carving out this lane. I'm figuring out what this platform is. So I love getting feedback because this is just a medium for me to express, but also a community that is growing and that is being curated here. And I want the message to go to people who can resonate and who, needed it. Um, so yeah, I love that. So I've been blooming by way of blooming lately blooming. It's a lot of blooming going on. And I love that. Now on to the next segment, currently on repeat. Shout out to Michelle Buteau. Is that how she says her last name? I should know this. But Survival of the Fittest, season 3, this is the series finale, makes me sad because her and so many other shows deserve more than 3 seasons. Shout out to Harlem. That is another show that I have had on repeat. It's joined the roster. I should not roster. I should probably have like a chart behind me of all of my comfort shows. Like I have different seasons in which I want to go back into those feelings and I watch it and it feels like I'm watching it for the very first time. Like I laugh at all the same parts. I get emotional at all the same parts. It's just any show that I'm newly introduced to, then I go into like all of a sudden I'm binging all of the episodes and then once I get into that, now I'm researching the producers and the characters and all, then I go into like that mode of it. Like I have my comfort shows and then once I get a new show, then it gives me something to hyper fixate on and do all the research and find out random facts about the show and the producers and just all of the things, if especially if there were any controversies or anything surrounding that. But Survival of the Thickest, which is a show that was created and produced by Michelle Buteau, who is a comedian and actress. She is Jamaican and Haitian, but shout out to her. But I love that show. It's a Netflix original series, and it highlights a mid to late 30 something young Black woman who is navigating the world as a New Yorker and you know navigating or overcoming through so many challenges. Like she's a fashionista, she's a stylist, a designer, um, and she has like her core group of people, like her best friends who she's navigating life through, like just loving relationship and wanting to have her own family. There were so many themes in which I felt connected to it. I was very late to the party. So that's something with me. If there's a show that is like new and there's like a crowd, or a large following, or like they're very intense fans, I usually go the other way. And then I'll come back after either the series is done or in between the seasons where a lot of the fanfare and arguments and debates and all of the purists. Once all of that has settled, then I can go visit it. Or I'll wait till there's like a couple of seasons so then I can like binge it and catch up. And then I can like join the fray for like the last season, especially if it's like the season finale of the show, like the series finale season. Um, so I was very, very late to it. I think I tried watching the first episode. Pilot episodes are tricky sometimes. I'm trying to think of a show where the first episode was amazing. It kept me going, But usually the first episode up to the first season of a show can be a little tricky. Like The Office, like the US version of The Office with Steve Carell. The first season was a little rough. It was funny. Don't get me wrong. It definitely kept me wanting to watch, but it definitely got better from season two. And once the chemistry and the cast and like the writers, like there's the formula, and then you get the clearer picture. And then there's chemistry there. Like it gets better with time. I love a good series that gets better with time. It also hurts my feelings when the show is at its peak and then it gets canceled. It's different if the writer or the producer is the one that decided from jump this is going to be a limited series. At least let me know so I can mentally and emotionally prepare myself. I'm still going to be sad about it, but at least they would have hopefully um tied it up, tied up any loose ends, or button it up, package the show in a way where it's like, okay, this feels complete. Versus you still being, on hold waiting for resolution, or now you're and there's like no hope for the show coming back. I'm not a fan of that. But yeah, Survival of the Thickest, I connected to it as I again went past the first episode. Um, I just love the character. Mavis Beaumont is the name of the character. Um, Me being 36, going to be 37. I don't know about the family aspect because I'm great with being Tati Chris. If I have children, whatever's meant to be will be. I'm not really pressed for that. But especially like the love and relationships, that is definitely an area that I am a late bloomer in. So just like finding your love match, like I want to meet my person. Like I want to do all of the lovey dovey, ooey gooey, give me brown sugar, give me what is a good positive? I hate that I'm blanking on this right now. But like that good black love. All those vibes, like no games, no bullshit. Like we too grown for this. Like why you gotta be weird? Let's just love each other, you know? So seeing her like now mind you, I've never had a whole phase, but if I were to have a whole phase, now would be the time to have a whole phase. I'm delayed in that aspect too, child. Amen. But she has a very active sex life, and I love that for her, especially being a plus size thickums girl, because they like to make it seem like we don't get chose, baby. The way that I'm ducking and dodging my messages and the swipes. Don't let the Care Bear teddy bear fool you. Okay, this gummy bear can get it, but so I just love that depiction. It shows that just the sexiness, the flyness, despite whatever society tells you you shouldn't feel as a plus size person, or person with a bigger body, that you should be shamed, you should be covered up. We're already getting that messaging. If it's not from the doctor, if it's not from family, if it's not from media, it's also in clothing stores because the lack of options that we have. Um, so everything around you, the messaging is clear that you should not love your body. So just seeing her platform that issue, and it's, the message, like kind of body positivity in a way without it being so overt. Cause people can be weird about it, myself included. Let me not exclude myself. I had a whole episode a couple episodes ago about the my disconnect with the body positivity movement, but I still appreciated the message of this show, and um just the fierceness, like just seeing how that character's development into being more confident, being bold. I hate saying brave because it's just your being, but there is a level of being brave that is associated with just like being your full self and stop showing up so fragmented in different spaces and not feeling the need to conform. There is bravery in that, because you're, especially if you get so many insults or so much, like especially from a young age, especially if you've always been on the bigger side as a young age, at a young age, you were conditioned to believe that your body is wrong, you do not fit, and they will remind you and do all of the things to keep reminding you that you should not feel comfortable in the body that you were born in and don't know how you got here, but you need to fix it. So breaking free from that and still feeling sexy and still um being your full self in whatever silly, ridiculous, funny, loud, um sometimes over the top or even too much, because a byproduct of carrying a bigger body is because you can't shrink your physical self and you are made to feel that you take up so much space. You tend to shrink in personality. You tend to hide or make yourself small. You try not to bring attention to yourself, because what is the first thing people gonna come? Oh, you and your fat ass, or you big this, whatever. That's the first insult that people want to throw at you. So you tend to want to shrink in other areas as much as possible. So seeing this character, Mavis Beaumont, talk about her roles and wearing crop tops and being this big over the top personality and having this big hair. So just big everything, just loud, having accessories and wearing bold prints and colors and cuts and different silhouettes, and just you just undeniable. I love the fashion. I love the fashion. It gave me so many ideas. I took so many screenshots of outfit looks that I want to duplicate. Not duplicate, replicate. Ciao. There's so many looks. I Again, here's where I go with my hyperfixation child. Now I go into the research. I done followed the Netflix page. I followed the key characters that I liked. I look for who the stylists are. I follow them because they often on their pages um, will give like the storytelling aspect of the looks that they put together, and they tag the designers. Hello, because this is plus size. I need to know, where did y'all shop to put these looks together? Because that's where I'm going to go to put, my own looks together. Even the hairstylist, because shout out to Michelle Buteau. She is also a Leo, Gang Squad. And I'm rocking my natural mane, but I like a big curly fro situation. Nails, accessories, the like. So I go there. I want to see what they're doing and how I can make that work for me too. I love the message of like just the friendships. I love that her best friend Khalil, they were friends from childhood. I have best friends from childhood. Like any kind of warm and fuzzy thing like that. What is her friend's name? It's played by Tasha. Is her name Smith? I'm so terrible with names, Jesus. But y'all know her from Why Did I Get Married? Tasha, yeah. Um, she is she kind of plays herself in all the characters because she's this like bad bitch. But she's a businesswoman or CEO. She like some high corporate, position, makes amazing money. She's bisexual. And then even seeing her storyline of accepting her sexuality, like they approach so many different topics and things that are so pertinent to us millennials, especially if you're in your big threes to big fours. Um, it just seems like blooming. Honestly, all of these characters are blooming in so many ways, like ways that they you start to see like the little cracks in the facade that they built to try to help them navigate life and be they've either had to harden to make themselves bulletproof so they can, be that pit bull in a skirt, like for that character to like get to where she is in corporate, or Khalil, dealing with his family drama, being the only child, dad is incarcerated. He's an artist, but he, wants to make a living and be supported through his art, but not want to fall into the evil of capitalism and just getting his message lost and, his art going into the wrong hands and people who wouldn't understand. the history. Like it's so layered. I love, love, love the show. If Michelle Buteau ever came on Blooming Lately podcast, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna manifest because you just never know who might just come on this podcast, honey. But I would love to talk to her about that. Um, and then maybe she's the only child, but it's just I love seeing how they have a sibling relationship as best friends. Like they are, and the messaging of season 3 is like chosen family. And then you have the representation, you have um God, what is her name? Oh my God. What is her name? I hate that I'm blanking. Child, let me look this up. Peppermint. Oh my God. Peppermint, who is an actress, entertainer. She's a trans woman, a trans Black woman. I believe she was on RuPaul's Drag Race. I don't remember what season, but Peppermint is awesome. Like I love her character in the show. She plays herself, Peppermint, and she's also part of that chosen family that Mavis Beaumont has been curating. And then she meets the love of her life, Luca, who is a fine ass Italian man. I don't know, is he mixed with something? Cause he got a little melanin to him. I don't know if there's like Arab or something. But that actor is fine as hell. Shout out to him. But he plays the character of Luca, and they met at the club like that Peppermint owns. It's like a drag show club, whatever. I don't know. It's a really cool space. It's amazing. But so even just seeing his character, because this straight guy, but his best friend is gay, and he goes to see this drag show, and that's how he ends up meeting the love of his life. So just it's great to see that open-minded perspective. Granted, like and then they talk about immigration a bit. Like they talk about so many relevant things that are going on, especially right now. So it's such an on-time show, and I would say that is something that I've been missing in media is shows that speak to us and where we're at. And I think for a lot of us millennials, that's where we go back to our nostalgic shows of yesteryear, whether it's A Different World or Living Single, because those are timeless shows. Like they were so ahead of their time that they would still be so culturally relevant. Um, so we've just kind of been wanting to chase that high or have a show that represents where we are today because we are the 30 somethings. We are the 40 somethings that the world is ghetto. We don't know how we got here and we would like a return on the investments that we made from young because we were told that we are the children of the future. And we went to school and we did all the things that we were told to do and we did not get what we were promised. Okay? So we are calling bullshit on a lot of things while going to therapy, while going to this job that we can't stand, while trying to, you know, eat right and get healthy and be on top of things. We're navigating a lot. We're spinning on a lot of plates at the same time, us millennials, while trying to prioritize our mental health and wellness and go to therapy and do the meditation and, either go to, dig deeper into our faith and spirituality and questioning, trying not to have an existential crisis in the midst of that. Amen. Navigating a lot, but survival of the thickest, Michelle Buteau and the whole crew over there. Shout out to you. That has been currently on repeat for me. So because I knew the episode was the new season or the latest season, whatever, was dropping July 2nd. I think it was July 2nd or the 3rd. And I had already watched the previous 2 seasons. I was like, ooh, I'm a binge watch from episode 1 so then I could go right into episode 3 because a good show, a good series, there is the cliffhanger of the will they, won't they, or whatever. So it's nice to finally like get that resolve going into the next like new season. So that always scratches that itch for me and it feels amazing. But that has been my favorite, most recent hyperfixation. Um, Food wise, same old Haitian food. That's always my comfort. Um, I'm really intrigued to try Nigerian food. I mentioned this on my Instagram stories. I really want to try fufu and egusi and the okra. Like it just looks so good, but it's so involved and I don't like getting my hands dirty. Yeah. And especially with nails, because it gets all under ooh, just even just thinking about it. Even just thinking about it makes me cringe, but it looks so good and I would wanna try it. I just because some places I don't think I've had anything that's palm oil heavy. But I've looked at so many recipes and things, like, long time ago of, like, how it's made, but I haven't been blessed with the opportunity to try it. There are 2 restaurants that I know of in my area, but the reviews are kinda weird, but I don't trust the reviews of certain demographics. I need to know from Nigerians whether it has been Nigerian approved, much like with Haitian restaurants. I We have a different system of approval. Usually if you try the aguyo or how they make their jonjon, those are staple Haitian dishes that if it slaps, then now we can trust the rest of your menu. Or maybe that's just the thing that y'all excel at and we will only go to you for that one item. But that's kind of how I approach other cuisines that I'm not familiar with. I go to the natives and trust their judgment. If I'm trying a new Vietnamese spot, I'm looking for reviews for Vietnamese people to be like, this tastes like my grandma cooked it. That's where I'm going. I want the food, I want whoever's in the kitchen to be cooking it without having measurements. Okay, off the dome. And it slaps every time and it's consistent. So that's where I'm at. That's my and I'm sure once I have it, I'll be like obsessed. And then that'll become my new hyperfixation. Who knows? But I'm sure it's flavorful. It just the method is different. And I realized, because again, one thing about me, I'm a research. I didn't realize that in Haiti we have a version of fufu, which is the pounded yam. That if you look at it, is like in a ball, but that's what they use. That's the swallow, one of the swallows that they use, but it's made out of yuca or pounded yam, and it is the carrier or the main starch for the stews or and the soups. We have a version in Haiti called tom tom, but where majority of my family's from in Port-au-Prince, I didn't grow up knowing about tom tom. There's a lot of dishes that um, other people who were either born and raised in Haiti or have been blessed to spend summers in Haiti growing up that they know of. Like, I've never had pitimi, but nobody in my immediate family has ever liked pitimi or blé, so I have never tried it. Um, but that's another part of just getting more aware of my Haitian heritage and culture, um, and seeing like tracing the roots to Africa and like where specifically and seeing the connection. Like I love that kind of stuff. Seeing where we come from and finding the new ways of connecting and belonging. But tom tom is fufu, but like in Haiti. And I don't know, I forgot where exactly in Haiti they do. I believe it's like northern Haiti, more of the like countryside is where they do that, and they eat it with legume or with lalo, which is another form. So I was just like, we truly are one boat ride away. And I'm sure other, Caribbean countries or other, um, African diasporas have their own version of fufu or other dishes. But yeah, so I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe somebody in my ancestry is just like, hey, girl, you gonna like this. And it's just kind of been at the forefront of my mind to be like, I really wanna try that. Um, so yeah, that's where I'm at. Um, Plot twist, not really. No, I don't have a plot twist this week. But speaking of nails in a weird roundabout way, and I talked about this a little bit in like 2 episodes ago. Going back to hobbies that I used to enjoy doing, and one of those is my nails. Don't look too closely. I did them myself. But I figured I need to save some money. I need to get better about my finances. Um, and one of those things is my nails. Getting my nails done is my favorite form of self-care. I don't care if I look like a bum, if I'm not put together, but as long as I have my nails done, I feel great. I usually have all kinds of colors and bold patterns, or I have some kind of shiny effect. These are chrome because when I'm typing, I love the click clacking sound. Like it's just so soothing to me. But then also looking down, like it's still my way of expressing myself as a creative. I like colors and patterns, as you can see. I like different shapes or, unique, glass frames and accessories. So my nails is very much so part of that. If my nails and my toes are done, more so my nails than my toes, because I usually have, closed toes. I'm wearing sneakers or something. Um, but it's my nails. That's where I go all out with designs and stuff. And I used to do my nails growing up. I was always obsessed with nail polish, and I used to do my nails, my friend's nails, my sister and my cousin, like they were all my baby dolls. I used to have the thin nail brushes for the nail designs. I'm talking early 2000s, child. I was never able to do it like with tips. I didn't get to that level, but on our own nails, you couldn't tell me nothing. So just going back to that, and shout out to my cousin Deja. Um, she, much like me, we will hyperfixate on a new, a new skill, or new, and we become like certified experts, like subject matter experts in these things. So like, she was amazing when she went through her phase of like natural hair, and her hair is beautiful and healthy and gorgeous, and I learned so much from her. Um but when she's in it, she was in her bag. And then once she switched to doing like resins, like different designs and different like items. This girl, amazing, so talented, so bright. And anything she puts her mind to, like expert level, self-taught. Like shout out to you, Deja. You are everything. And so she's been doing her nails because, much like me, we love getting our nails done. It's self-care, but we also need to save a coin. And when I just put all of the things that she recommended to me in the Amazon cart, I was so irritated that the cost of the supplies for me to actually do my nails on multiple times was like the cost of one fill. Not even a full set, because when I get a full set, it's a bit more expensive than that because it's a fresh set. I'm getting all of the things. I need designs on all 10 fingers. And they itemize it, ching, 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 ching. Ciao. So I don't know. It just can't, it was like a full circle moment for me of like going back to, younger teenage Chris who loved getting her nails done and loved doing her nails, most importantly, and like getting excited by all of the nail polish colors and even just the smell of nail polish. And I'm doing gel X because I do love the tips. I don't know if I want to do the acrylic yet, or I just do like a builder gel, but there's so many options now. And where I live, there's so many nail supply places. Child, when I went in there the other day, I went to ask one of the employees if I needed to have a cosmetology license in order to shop there. I think that's the license. Whatever. I asked if I needed to have a license to shop there because it's a full on nail supply store, like things by the gallons. Like, and he was like, Oh, you look like you know what you're doing. So it's only people, jokingly, it was like only people who have no idea what they're doing. They're not welcome to shop here. And I was just like, it was funny, what he said, but for whatever reason, like, it was just like, damn, like it's true because once I tapped in there, I felt like I was little Chris going into Toys R Us. I knew where the aisles were. I could navigate things. I knew from enough. And shout out to my cousin again for putting me on to things. What I needed for each step and what tools and just all of the supplies that I needed to achieve the desired looks or different things that I want to try out on my nails. So I'm excited for that. It's not quite a hyperfixation, but it's definitely, I don't know, it's just very nostalgic. It's just giving me the vibe. So I'm excited about that. I've been doing that with my hair. I was always either doing my hair or doing other people's hair in high school. I always kept the hustle. One thing about me, I'm gonna find a way, whether I'm babysitting somebody's kids, I, I was braiding hair, or I was doing nails. I did what I needed to do to get some extra money while I was in high school. And but now it has changed to me just doing it for myself and not offering that of service to other people because I'm also in a place where I don't want to do your hair. I can and I have for a few people, but my hands hurt. I have carpal tunnel. I can do my hair because I can take a whole weekend doing my hair, and I know I'm not leaving the house until I get it done. And if I mess up, it's on me because I'm about to take this hair out in 2 weeks anyways and try again. Because I don't pay hundreds of dollars. I just can't wrap my mind around paying hundreds of dollars for something that me and $30 at the beauty supply store can figure out with YouTube University. Shout out to y'all for posting it. That's not to take away from their talents and abilities. Based on my hand hurting and my arms cramping, I understand why you're charging what you charge, but also, y'all don't shampoo people's hair. Y'all expect the hair to be shampooed and blow dried before you even start the braiding process. No, honey. It's a whole weekend because I have already pre-pooed the night before with whatever oil. I've detangled my hair. Then the next day I'm clarifying, then I'm moisturizing, like shampoo, the whole process, deep conditioning, all the things to prep my hair for the protective style that I will be installing, whether it's a crochet, whether it's braids, whether it's faux locks, whatever. Or if it's just a braid down for me to put a half wig on, whatever it is, all of that is included. So, again, not to take away from what y'all deserve and the prices that y'all set, it's just not within my budget or what I'm willing to pay. So, it's not to discredit you. Calm down. I respect it. I am just saying that I will not be participating in that capacity to support you because I will figure it out. But I want to try miracle braids. That's where you braid like your own individual hair and then you add like the individual human hair pieces. But the human hair is so expensive. See, that's where they catch you. Because of course I want like the big curly situation. And I believe that is, what is that kind of hair? Is it like Burmese curls or something like that? But it's like $400 a bundle. And especially if I want some inches, like if I want like 18, 20 inches, and then you need to have, because usually each pack has 2 bundles, or they go by pieces, or they go by grams. I don't know. The hair thing, it still confuses me. But then, of course, they only put so much, so then you need to buy 2 packs or 4 to have a full head. But at least if it's human hair, depending on how you install it, if you're careful about it, you can reuse that hair. But we'll see, child. But that's what I'm thinking as my birthday hair. But that's what I will do in between nails. So once I take these off before I put on my birthday set, that's when I'll do my hair because I need full functionality, the tips of my fingers, so I can get these braids in and then give my hair a break for a little bit. It's been so hot. that I've been tempted to do braids. I had twists in before because I just need access to my scalp. I love a good crochet, but it gets hot. And this summer has been too much to not have access to my scalp like that. I need it to breathe. Okay? Because one thing about it, I'm going to take some hair out. Um, so yeah. So going into that, and then I've been going into a phase of I love being surrounded by creatives. Shout out to Shri. She was my very first guest on the podcast when I brought Blooming Lately back last year. Um, it was her birthday and she invited me and I got a chance to meet her amazing friends and people who are in her tribe. And I love her home. Her home is so beautiful. I took the most amazing pictures there. Definitely will add it to like my vision board. But she has when I get my own place, and I definitely would hope that I could have like a two-bedroom situation or like a one bedroom and a den, but just making it like an art studio. I love that she has an art studio in her house and just seeing all of her artwork around and like she has her easel out and her paints and all of her materials like just ready for whenever she's, inspired to create. That's how I want my space set up. Like I want to have my podcast studio, corner in that space. And then I just want like a creative room and then have all my, my canvas and my paints organized and all of just my art mediums just readily available for when I feel the urge to create, whether it's painting, whether it's recording, whether I don't know, but just to have all the stuff there and just have it readily accessible. That's how I want to curate my space. So just being around them and seeing her artwork and one of the activities, really the main activity she had at her party, um, was to do either painting or arts and crafts. Like she had all these material. Like I felt like little Chris going to art class. I always loved, and that was I got the best grades in electives. All of the art classes. So it just felt like I was back in school as young Chris, who was just having a field day in her art class. And this piece behind me is what I did. So um yeah. I use paint markers for that. This is I forgot the name of the artist. But, this was this was already a print or, like, the illustration was already there, I just needed to fill in it was like coloring pages. Um, so just even getting into the mode of that, it just all of the creative juices started coming in because 'cause it's been so long since I painted or, colored something. So it was so nice getting to do that and getting back into the zone of that because I felt so disconnected from creating in that way. Even the colors, it just was coming to me like the patterns and the flows and like how I wanted it to be. And, she got a little beat going on. I added some blush and then I did like a blended lip situation. She is fabulous out here. So I made sure to add her to my wall. Once I figure out my background, I got my boys, but to have some more artwork behind me and add my own pieces. I have in the closet in my closet, um how many pieces do I have? At least 10 that I just have them all locked up, child. Again, those are the parts of me that I've been hiding by means of wanting to protect. But, no, I wanna put them on display. I've had them featured in galleries years ago when I used to be part of the, call to artists, um, exhibits, so I wanna go back into that too. So shout out to you, Shri, for, you know, helping me tap back into that creative bag and just, um, getting back into that energy. It felt really, really good. It felt like I was in alignment. I was just vibing so high and just, um she had an amazing playlist, like, she just thought of everything. The food was good, the company was great, the art was even better, the music was bumping, like, I took the best selfie because she had the sun was coming in from from like the perfect angle in her back. It was just a beautiful day. I'm so glad that I was part of being able to celebrate her for her birthday. Like she definitely, shout out to you, Shri. You're awesome. And hopefully I'll have one of her pieces behind me because she's gifting me an art one of her pieces. Child, we about to be out here, Bloomies. Prepare to be sick of me. It's gonna be artwork and colors everywhere. I try to do it with the lights and set different vibes, but it's gonna be a whole gallery wall behind me. Um, so yeah, that's good. It feels good to, as much as therapy helps you to shed the layers and release the baggage and the icky things that you do not need to hold on to. It's good to declutter and identify the things that truly are a part of you and being able to save that. And I guess what I was doing, thinking I was protecting it, I was really being guarded about it. But as I'm decluttering and shedding and freeing myself of baggage and toxic behaviors or just negative experiences, things that I don't want to hold on to anymore, I am freeing up space and having room to create and do more of things that I enjoy and holding on to those things, or making room for creativity and inspiration and motivation and just all of that to get the creative juices flowing. I'm freeing up the clutter and the mess and the ugh to make room for light and fuzzy and beautiful and inspired and positive and yeah. Yeah. So so doing my nails, my favorite form of self-care, going back to my roots and doing that for myself. My hair is another form of self-care. It just helps you feel put together if your hair and your nails are done. Everything else is just in the middle. Um, Tapping back in with painting and coloring. I love colorful patterns and just bold. I just love so many colors. Okay. And that's what's behind me. So getting back into that rhythm and that muscle memory and just it's yes. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. And blooming anyway. That's the takeaway is to declutter while you're doing the process of being better. And whether it is through therapy or through meditation or prayer, as you're decluttering your mental and emotional self, to foster a healthier environment, a lighter um, way of being and expressing all the work that you're doing to free yourself and to live more confidently and comfortably, merge the two together. As you're doing the work of decluttering and getting rid of the junk, while you're doing that, be sure to highlight the beautiful parts of you that you either haven't tapped into in a while, or you were either guarding it, or you forgot because it got lost in the midst of all the clutter. Once you start seeing those things that you enjoy and you're like, oh man, I remember that song. It's kind of like, you skipping through like your playlist is on shuffle and it plays a song from like the 90s or whenever, and you completely forgot about the song, but for whatever reason it comes on and you remember all the lyrics, and maybe it sparks a memory of when you first heard that song, and whether it's at a party or with friends, and like just that rush of warm and fuzzy nostalgia kicks in. So hopefully you have more moments of that, and that you allow yourself to sit in those positive and warm and fuzzy memories, um, and just allow yourself to build that muscle memory. As much as the body keeps the score when it comes to trauma, it is also important to build the muscle memory of when you're happy and when you're experiencing joy and when you're experiencing levity, just feeling light and calm and grounded. when you are experiencing those moments, allow yourself at least 2 minutes to sit in that. Even if you need to write it down or journal or record, even if you're not sharing it with anyone, but it's something that you um, want to remind yourself. So when you are having those moments of just being stuck and sad and feeling lost or uninspired, you can go back through that album and or listen to your voice memo or just anything to remind you and get you back to the true core of who you are as a person. All of the things that all of the beautiful and unique parts of who you are, all the quirky moments, the things that you enjoyed, hobbies that you liked, books, whether you have to go back and reread books, um, just to kind of get you back into, reading for pleasure, whether it's an audiobook, just something that reminds you of who you are. And you know that that is who you are at your core when you feel like you're in alignment, when it doesn't feel forced, when it feels organic, when it makes you feel present, when it makes you present, honestly, and nothing else matters. It's something that you treasure and you don't want to stop. It just feels so warm and ooey gooey. Like, I hope that as you are removing and doing the hard labor of freeing your life of your trauma and negativity, that you allow yourself to see the beautiful parts of you that are still there. They've always been there. It's just it got cloudy for a minute. And so now that the clouds are clearing, allow yourself to see the beauty of the parts of you that you've either hidden or that got lost. They have been found, and allow yourself to hold on to that and just keep them at the forefront. Anytime things start try to clutter or hide those things or cover those things up, push them away. So please be sure to leave a comment. I also need ratings, apparently. Spotify and Apple, they reminded me, child, to get my listeners and my subscribers to leave a comment, engage with the post, and engage with the episodes. If please share this episode and previous episodes and future episodes with anyone that you feel can benefit from this message. And on that note, I'll talk to you later, Bloomies. Bye.